Time now for Dr. Health Radio, radio's original health news magazine, bringing you the latest information on medicine, nutrition, fitness, and wellness. Now in its 28th year. Your host of Dr. Health Radio is health expert David Snow, who is not a doctor, and while most of David's guests are doctors or authorities in their areas of expertise, they do not diagnose or prescribe on the air. If you have a condition or illness that requires medical attention, see a health professional. The information contained in this program is for educational and entertainment purposes only. And now, your host of Dr. Health Radio, the Snowman himself, David Snow.
Let's talk about anxiety. It's the most common mental disorder. And while medication may be necessary in some cases to treat anxiety, it's often used as the first and only line of defense, which is unfortunate because with little or no effective lifestyle modifications, it's not going to be permanent. You're using the Band-Aid approach of drugs and medications to treat something that could be treated with lifestyle modification. So here's 4 of the most bang-for-your-buck stress-reducing factors that will help to alleviate anxiety. Number 1, and here in Hawaii, I know we broadcast to the mainland as well, but in Hawaii, everybody knows about this one. Going barefoot, or so-called earthing, as they say in other parts of the world. But the benefits of going barefoot on earth, whether it's grass, dirt, or sand, include reduction of chronic fatigue, inflammation, and anxiety, according to studies. Going barefoot also has a great effect on sleep and recovery, and key components to managing stress and controlling anxiety. Other thing is to breathe. What a concept. Breathing, it's usually automatic and unconscious, but unnatural breathing, if you have shortened or panic breathing, which can occur if you're anxious, can affect your gas exchange, leaving an anxious person even more anxious or in a worse position. So poor breathing is not a good thing. It increases your heart rate as well as tenses your muscles. And so just consciously improve your breathing through diaphragmatic breathing and deep breathing and maybe relaxation techniques such as yoga. And then finally, getting sunlight. And this is important for all the days of the year, but especially we're getting into the winter months now. Many studies on depression and lack of sunlight, or they show that the two are linked together. Exposure to sunlight increases your vitamin D as well as serotonin levels in the body. You probably know that, but a lot of people are so paranoid they put on sunscreen before they even go outdoors, and so there's no vitamin D formation whatsoever. And you don't have to worry about sunscreen in the winter months like you do in the summer. Maybe, on your face to prevent wrinkles, but at least have your arms and other parts of your body exposed, your skin exposed to the sun. And also exposing your pineal gland to bright light first thing in the morning helps to create more melatonin, for that, that following evening of sleep. So I remember reading another article on blue light, and for those of you, most of you out there that watch TV or you're on your computer or electronic device late at night all the way up until bedtime, not a good thing because it can reduce your melatonin, your sleep hormone levels by over 25%. But they found, this particular study found that if you're exposed to, the brighter the light you're exposed to the earlier in the day, the less likely you'll be affected by that blue light at night. So if you know you're going to use your computer or watch TV the last couple hours that you're going to be awake, at least get some bright sunlight in that morning to help your quality of your sleep that night. Oh, by the way, good morning and welcome to hour number 2 of the healthiest 2 hours on radio. It's the Snowman with you, David Snow, keeping you cool and healthy. And we do it each and every week at this time here on the program for you new listeners. So welcome to the healthiest 2 hours on radio. If you miss any part of the show, or maybe you only get 1 hour of the program, depending on where you're listening, you can always go to our website, drhealthradio.com. That's DOCTOR, healthradio.com. And you can listen tonight on our rebroadcast at 9 p.m. on the station you're listening to right now. In this hour of the program, Kevin Stone, the Hollywood hypnotist, America's celebrity hypnotist, joins us. He's board certified and guaranteed not to leave you bored with the entertaining and valuable information he will have for us this morning on the health benefits of hypnosis, whether it's overcoming addictions like overeating or smoking, drinking, maybe other drugs or behaviors that are deleterious to your health, or reducing your anxiety, which I talked about at the outset, or maybe you have a fear or a phobia, or just want more relaxation in your life, or pain relief, and we'll talk about treating and preventing diseases as well. So he will be with us in just a few short radio minutes after some announcements and features. And speaking of features, let's go to the fitness file. All right, let's talk about caffeinated athletes. Some research shows that even small doses of caffeine, they improve your athletic performance by a small dose. That can confer just a few percent, they say a 2% benefit. Sometimes it's a little higher than that. But it's not going to turn a couch potato into a world record holder. That's for darn sure. So, and then also be aware that if you consume a lot of caffeine, it's going to have a diuretic effect. And if you're in a competition, you're going to have to stop and take a pee. So be cognizant of that. Okay, let's go to matters of sexual health. A study in the International Journal of Andrology found a link between high levels of magnesium and concentrations of testosterone and IGF-1. It's a protein that promotes muscle growth. Testosterone's crucial, of course, for maintaining not only energy levels but also muscle mass, and it helps prevent middle-age spread as you get older. But magnesium is key, and anywhere from 50 to 80% of Americans are deficient in magnesium. Forget about the calcium. Most people get too much calcium in their diet, and often it's in the wrong form. But magnesium, that's another story. Nobody eats enough nuts and seeds and whole grains, and we're talking whole grains, not the brown bread that you see in the stores. That's not really, it's posing as whole grain bread, and it's not really whole grain when you really come down to it. But anyway, and then if you want to take a supplement, there's always, magnesium supplements. The newest on the market, by the way, is one of our sponsors, Natural Factors, has a new chewable magnesium citrate. It's a key lime flavor. It's delicious. I take it from time to time, not every day, but probably more days than not. And it's 150 milligrams of magnesium citrate. That's a very bioavailable form of magnesium. And best taken at night if you want to get a great night's sleep. You can take it during the day too, but citrate, that's magnesium citrate by Natural Factors. Look for that in your natural food store. All right, if you have a lust for light, that's a good thing, because if you're not feeling the urge much lately, exposure to bright light, which usually is used to treat sleep problems, can also boost your testosterone, according to the University of Siena. So that's another good reason to get outdoors, at least on a daily basis. And it's not just women who should abstain from alcohol when they're pregnant. We've all heard of fetal alcohol syndrome and the hazards of that. But now comes a study that finds future fathers should stop drinking alcohol for at least 6 months before trying for a baby in order to protect that new life against congenital heart defects. Now, this research comes from the European Journal of Preventive Cardiology, where the findings revealed that men who drank alcohol 3 months before conception had a 44% raised risk of a baby being born with congenital heart disease compared to not drinking. Now, babies whose fathers binge drink, that's 5 or more drinks in one sitting, were 52% more likely to have cardiac problems. And moms-to-be, those who drank in the 3 months before conception or the first 3 months of pregnancy were linked to a 16% higher chance of heart defects. So actually with men it was more critical than the women. And finally, researchers recommend that when couples are trying for a baby, men should not consume alcohol for at least 6 months before fertilization, while women should stop alcohol 1 year before. Good luck with that. 1 year before, and of course, avoid it while you're pregnant. And I might add that if you look statistically, over 50% of all pregnancies are unplanned. And what's probably the biggest culprit or cause for that? That's right, alcohol, because judgment goes right out the window when you're under the influence and risky sex prevails. And that goes for both sexes, by the way. So, all right, I'll get off my soapbox. All right, let's go to the Funny Bone Pharmacy. A few cartoons to share with you, so you got to visualize these. You know, radio is theater of the mind, after all. Here's a doctor examining his patient in the exam room, and he says, Number 1, inhaling won't affect your political career. Obviously, the patient's a politician. And 2, the physician says, I won't tell. Okay. Here's a lady at the pharmacy counter, and the pharmacist is saying, pharmacists have to review the side effects with the customers, right? And he says, and the other side effect is bankruptcy. Yeah, the cost of drugs can be, like $3,000 a pill, for goodness sake. And here's a couple, I guess on their first date, older couple, and a woman saying to the man, I'm sorry, Frank, it's not enough that we both have diabetes. You're just not my type. Okay, you share diseases, but maybe that's not all you need to have in common. Here's a cartoon of the Tin Man from The Wizard of Oz, for those of you old enough to remember The Wizard of Oz movie. The Tin Man saying, I no longer need a heart since I became a lawyer. All right, to share that with my lawyer friends. And finally, here's the grumpy man in the hospital bed, and the doctor is saying that the tests reveal that you need further tests. And the nurse says, no wonder he's so testy. All right. Okay, well, we are testing your sense of humor right now, I guess, right? All right, we will be back with more information for your good health here on Dr. Health, as we are joined by our guest, Kevin Stone, Hollywood's hypnotist. He's also America's celebrity hypnotist, and he'll talk about the many health benefits of hypnosis. You should know he's also a senior clinical instructor at the Pain Clinic of White Memorial Medical Center in Los Angeles. So we'll be back from Hollywood live right after this as Dr. Health continues. Don't go anywhere if you want to stay healthy.
Mom, can I have some spray?
Sure, honey.
Thanks, Mom.
You know what that is? That's the sound of my child thanking me for giving her something that's actually good for her teeth. Spry Gum is part of the Spry Dental Defense System, a complete line of oral care products made with 100% xylitol, the all-natural sweetener with proven dental benefits. So when we're at home, my whole family uses Spry toothpaste and mouthwash to help strengthen our teeth and reduce the risk of tooth decay. And when we're on the go, I just throw some Spry Gum and mints right into my bag. My kids love it, and I love that it's all natural. No sugar, no aspartame, or any other chemicals. Just think of that. I reward my kids for taking care of their teeth at home by giving them gum and mints on the go that are good for their teeth. Visit sprydental.com or ask for Spry by name at your local health food store. You can also ask your dentist about Spry and make sure your mouth is receiving all the benefits of 100% xylitol products.
At Vitamin Shop, Sprouts, Kroger, and most natural product retailers. Find a retailer near you at clear.com.
Curcumin-rich TheraCurmin from Natural Factors is a special form of curcumin, the yellow pigment of turmeric that has shown many wondrous health benefits. TheraCurmin represents a major scientific breakthrough. Clinical studies show that when it comes to absorption, TheraCurmin is by far number one. Finally, the powerful health benefits of curcumin can be realized with curcumin-rich TheraCurmin. To learn more, visit naturalfactors.com.
Hey, Jack, you got a sec? Jack, your hair's on fire.
Yeah, I know. I just need to finish this sales report and then I'll lie down for a bit.
But shouldn't I?
No, I'll be fine.
You wouldn't ignore this, so why ignore the signs of a stroke? If you or someone you know suddenly has trouble speaking, seeing, or walking, call 911 right away, because time lost is brain lost. To find out more, visit www.strokeassociation.org or call 1-888-4STROKE. This message brought to you by the American Stroke Association and the Ad Council.
Welcome back to Lifestyles of the Fit and Healthy. Hey, if you have ears, we have microphones, and we know how to use them. Thanks for tuning in and lending us an ear here, where you hear information about being a healthier person. And here to help us be healthier is Kevin Stone. He is the Hollywood hypnotist, America's celebrity hypnotist, I should say. He's board certified and guaranteed not to leave you bored with the entertaining and valuable information he has for us this morning. And we go live to Hollywood, California, and we are joined by Kevin Stone. Good morning, Kevin. How the health are you?
Well, aloha, David. Good morning, and wow, what a great introduction. I love that.
Well, thank you. And, even though you are the hypnotist, I don't want you to give us any hype without, or we want just the hip without the hype, or hip. So, first of all, tell us, Kevin, what exactly is hypnosis? Because a lot of people have a misconception about it. They've seen it on TV and they've seen the different shows and how it's so entertaining. But what it is and how does it work?
Yeah, great question, David. And thanks for the opportunity to explain
Absolutely.
It to help people to understand. And this is why I do these interviews, to really take away the mystery of what this is and what this isn't, because even myself, there's two facets to me. I have two companies, Mind Growth Technologies and Deep Sleep Entertainment, where I do the full comedy hypnosis shows, and on that side, and of course the Mind Growth Technologies is where we do the clinical and the hypnotherapy side. And I'm also on staff at several prestigious hospitals here in Los Angeles for pain management, TMJ, et cetera. But hypnosis is really, all of it is self-hypnosis. And we go in and out of it about 1,000 times a day. It's a natural state. It truly is. Common forms of hypnosis, what I like to call freeway hypnosis, highway hypnosis, kind of up on the highway, freeway, driving along, minding your business, listening to this radio program, right? Feeling good, arm out the window, hair blowing in the wind, and you realize you just missed your exit. It was 3 exits back somewhere. And some people are realizing that right now.
Right, and they're not even texting or talking on the phone.
Right.
They're not distracted.
No, because they're just focused on what's happening. Other common forms, childbirth, yoga, karate, watching a good movie, reading a good book. It's all hypnosis. They just don't know that.
Interesting. Yeah. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So it's an altered state of mind? Is that how you would define it?
Well, it's a higher awareness state of mind.
Okay.
It can put into the category of altered state, but you are just as focused into that mindset. Athletes call it the zone.
The zone, yes.
Runners call it a runner's high.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Everybody has a label for it, but it's what I call hypnosis, because you're all in that mindset where you're just focused, and when you're in a hypnotic state, you can actually change your behavior patterns.
And is that the main obstacle from people for people not being able to change their behavior patterns and being unsuccessful and maybe overcoming addictions or something, is because they don't get into that zone that you're talking about?
Absolutely. Because, we all have that little voice inside of our head that we think directs us. And generally, that little voice sometimes is very cynical and negative, and it really talks ourselves out of something we should just keep ourselves in. So we need tools to help us achieve our goals or achieve peak performance. And so hypnosis is that tool where you can actually program the mind to do exactly what you want it to do. Because you have to remember this. All behavior is learned behavior, so it can be unlearned. So you need tools, just like hypnosis, to unlearn the negatives, like anxiety, stress, smoking, weight, whatever you think about, whatever issues that you believe are plaguing you from reaching your highest potential and peak performance in life. Hypnosis is that tool to redirect the negatives into a positive.
Now, did you get into this because you needed it most yourself? I mean, I know a lot of psychiatrists that I've interviewed and that I know got into that the mental health field because they had issues themselves. Was that the case with your career and how you got into it initially?
Well, I'll tell you, for me, it was one component. It wasn't the component. What happened for me was I wanted to go back to school in college to get credit for my degrees. And so I found a school here in Los Angeles called the Hypnosis Motivation Institute. It's the only accredited college in the entire world. And I thought, well, I've always had an interest in this since I was a child. And I thought, let me go get some college credit for something that I have an interest in. And so I went in. But I will tell you, I was on the flip side of this. Probably like most of the listeners listening to this, I was a skeptic, and I just did not believe it, and I just couldn't wrap my head around the concept of watching these things on television and then going to see a live stage hypnotist, and I just thought, this is just not real. And my religious background didn't accept it as well. So I went to school for it, and I was still not a believer, but I thought, let me just explore this, because I still had an open mind, as I do now in life, just to see how things work. And so I had that curiosity factor. So I went in, and I basically went through their 101 course, and I learned it. And then we went on a field trip. And I'll tell you what really was a convincer, and it made me cross over to the other side of this whole thing, was I watched a complete C-section being performed under hypnosis.
What? No anesthetic?
Yeah. Nope, no epidural, nothing.
Wow.
Straight hypnosis. And the doctor was prepped in hypnosis, and he had already done 6 sessions with her. And he came in. We're standing behind the two-way mirror thing in this field trip that we're on. And I'm watching this whole thing, and I'm sitting in the back, and I'm one of those guys. And me and my other buddies are like, yeah, whatever. This is not going to work. This is just crazy. But we're curious, and we're there, and we're participating. And so he comes in, and basically he gives her a couple of suggestions. Then she starts to want to have the baby, C-section performed, and that was it for me. So from that point forward, what happened for me, David, I started utilizing it on myself. And the first thing that I did was I was a chronic nail biter. I couldn't kick that habit. Okay. Nothing worked, and that's the first thing that I utilized it for. From that point, the next thing I utilized it for was I was a very introverted man. As a matter of fact, even have this conversation one-on-one was not possible for me because that's how shy and introverted that I was.
No kidding.
And so these are some of the life changes that I started to make 25 years ago when I started to get into this. And of course, now, fast forward, I'm still making life changes with the applications of hypnosis and the modality because life is cyclical and we change, right? And so I'm still making those changes. And it's
you mean you're not perfect yet, Kevin? I want a perfect guest on my show.
Absolutely not, and I'll never be perfect. And so, yeah, I'm continuously working on myself as well. But, David, the greatest thing of what I do is I get to help people help themselves. It's really not me. I don't possess a mysterious power. I don't have voodoo juice. I don't sprinkle dust on you. None of these things that I do. What I get to do is I get to guide and facilitate people to make changes, powerful changes in their lives that are plaguing them from not allowing them to move forward in their lives.
But isn't it partly the ritual aspect of it that attracts people or that makes it more effective for participants? I know you do shows and entertaining sessions and so on, but do you think that makes it more impressionable upon people to have kind of to set the stage and to have a particular style of doing it?
Absolutely. Yeah, that's very brilliant thinking, David, because when I first got into this, again, I went to a school that teaches clinical hypnosis, and stage hypnosis is just, stay away from that. It doesn't give you credibility, and it was downplayed. And I never really felt that way because my first impression was a stage hypnotist, and I was really impressed with what was happening, although sitting on the cynical, skeptical side of it, thinking, this is not, I don't really quite understand how this works, but it looks pretty powerful and fascinating. So I always thought that component was very, very powerful to introduce people to the applications of hypnosis just to see how it works. So you're absolutely correct. I think, and it's a very controversial topic in my sphere of colleagues, where clinical versus stage hypnosis is still kind of frowned upon. You shouldn't probably do it. But look, I've become the Hollywood hypnotist because of it. And
that was my next question: how you became the Hollywood hypnotist? How did that happen?
Yeah, that happened because earlier in my career, I opened up. I graduated from the college. I got out, and I wanted to make a living off of this. And this wasn't my actual thoughts in my head at the time. I was following a broadcasting career, I was doing
really?
what you were doing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah, I was working for one of the top markets in Los Angeles, but I was in between, and so I went back to school, and this is how I ended up in this. And so what happened was I opened up a small private practice in Los Angeles, and I started to attract specific clientele. Not that I tried to, it just kind of worked that way. And those clientele were celebrities, major celebrities. And one of them basically ended up on the Leno show. He basically talked about how he had stopped smoking. And next thing you know, Access Hollywood calls me up and says, "Hey, were you the guy?" And I said, "Well, all of my sessions are confidential, and it's between me and the client, but the word got out. They knew." And so next thing you know, I was on Access Hollywood. They're the ones who actually dubbed me the Hollywood hypnotist.
Oh.
And so I went on there. We did a stop smoking with some of their staff and whatnot. And then all the TV shows started calling. More and more celebrities and major sports figures started coming along. And that's basically how that whole thing transpired.
And the rest is history, as they say. Yeah,
exactly.
Now, who was before you? We had a pre-interview conversation a week or two ago, and I mentioned that I knew or that I had met Kenny Kingston. Wasn't he kind of the Hollywood hypnotist, like way back when? I don't know, 10, 20 years ago, 30 years ago.
No, he was the psychic.
Oh, that's right. He was a psychic. Yeah, that's right.
He's psychic. He's in a whole different.
Yeah. So were you the first Hollywood hypnotist, or was there somebody that you followed?
No, of course I have a lot of inspiration and mentors. I mean, we go all the way back to Franz Anton Mesmer.
Okay.
Yeah, there's a lot of history with hypnosis through the years and the applications of it.
Okay.
James Braid, who was a dentist, actually coined the word hypnosis.
Oh, wow. Interesting.
And so, yeah, there's a lot of great history with that. But I'm the official, dubbed the official Hollywood hypnotist. So I guess you could say I'm that guy and recognizes that guy. But I think there's a lot been. Is there anybody else who's been? No, I would say no. I think it's me. You know, I'm attributed to the celebrities, but that's just not my clientele. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
we treat about 100 people a week with hypnosis. It's just not celebrities.
And if somebody contacted you, Kevin, would they get you, or do you delegate them to other assistants that you have working for you?
Oh, no, absolutely not. No, they get me, and that's the great thing.
Yeah.
Even if people email me, I answer my own email. I try to stay grounded in that way, David. Again, you know, this is what I do. This is what my passion is to help people help themselves. I just, unfortunately, the double-edged sword sometimes is because I'm known as that guy, the Hollywood hypnotist guy. People think I only treat the celebrities and the sports figures.
Yeah,
that's not the case whatsoever. You know, anyone who comes to me who is seeking and wanting help and is serious about the changes in their lives, I'm the guy to see.
Yeah, you know, when I contacted you, of course, I have press access and certain, ways of contacting people, but I was surprised that you answered the phone, and I think you thought I was one of your clients or something, but it was refreshing to not have an agent, have to go through 2 agents or 3 agents or whatever. I remember when I had Schwarzenegger on the show, he's so up there that even though we had mutual friends, but his press, his press agent had a press agent, or it was kind of like 2 layers that you had to go through. But anyway, hey, Kevin, we need to take a bottom of the hour station break. Can you stay with us in the second half of the hour? Great. All right, Kevin Stone is our guest, the Hollywood hypnotist, and we'll talk more about how you can overcome behaviors that you want to change to be a healthier person. He mentioned, we'll get into detail on how to quit smoking and other drug addictions, and maybe reducing your anxiety, or if you have fears or phobias, and what about even just if you want to use self-hypnosis for relaxation and pain relief. We'll talk about that, as well as maybe he'll do some name dropping, mention some of the celebrities that take advantage of his services and that use hypnosis to their benefit. Back after this as we continue here on the healthiest 2 hours on radio. I'm David Snow, and this is Dr. Health Radio.
When it comes to probiotics, why do employees, managers, and owners of health stores recommend and personally take Theralac more than any other brand? Results. Fast results. In fact, Theralac is the fastest acting medicinal strength probiotic. With patented stomach acid resistant delivery, prebiotic stimulation, and guaranteed potency, Theralac restores regularity fast while providing all the long-term benefits of a superior probiotic supplement. Don't be fooled by probiotic products that promise higher potencies or more strains of beneficial bacteria. High potency means nothing without delivery, and more strains are not necessarily better. Theralac is optimally formulated for results. Theralac, the high-potency probiotic with guaranteed strength, delivery, and stimulation, supporting your digestion, regularity, and immunity. Theralac, available in the refrigerated section of your favorite health store. For more information, go to Theralac.com.
Hi, this is Dr. Ronald Hoffman, and it's that time of year again when everyone suffers from some kind of upper respiratory problem. We miss work and feel miserable spending too much time with doctors and pharmacists. That is, unless we protect ourselves and our families with a product that I recommend to my patients: Clear Saline Nasal Spray and Sinus Rinse. Clear combines the unique properties of xylitol and the health-promoting benefits of a saline nasal spray to help cleanse, moisturize, and soothe your sinuses and nasal passages. Clear helps wash away bacteria, pollens, and other irritants before they have a chance to attack the sensitive tissues in your upper respiratory tract. Clear is easy to use, effective, and safe for people of all ages. Clear is simply your best defense in an increasingly dirty and polluted world. I use it myself. You can find Clear Saline Nasal Spray and Sinus Wash at Vitamin Shoppe, Whole Foods, CVS, Rite Aid, and other drugstores, supermarkets, and pharmacies near you, as well as Amazon. Or you can visit Clear on the web at Clear.com. That's www.xlear.com.
At 63, this year's Sports Illustrated cover model Christy Brinkley looks as beautiful, youthful, and healthy as ever. Her secret? Regain lost collagen, add new collagen, protect her existing collagen. Christy knows that after the age of 21, our natural collagen production slows by 1% per year. By age 30, the signs become visible. That's why her #1 beauty supplement is BioSil Hair, Skin, Nails, the clinically proven advanced collagen generator and protector. Unlike the collagen pills and powders that your body breaks down and simply uses as a food source, BioSil from Natural Factors activates your body's own collagen-generating enzymes. In fact, clinical trials prove that BioSil reduces fine lines and wrinkles by 30%, increases skin elasticity by 89%, thickens and strengthens hair by 13%, and dramatically strengthens nails. So when you want to look beautiful, youthful, and healthy like Christy, choose BioSil, the clinically proven advanced collagen generator. To learn more, visit biosilusa.com.
Snow, snow,
Snow, snow,
snow. It is David Snow on your radio. Welcome back to your weekly dose of verbal vitamins. Today's snowism and nutritional health. It's okay to eat foreign foods, just don't eat foods foreign to your body. We're talking about trans fats and those artificial sweeteners or synthetic flavors and colors that are in your foods, the processed foods, the refined flours and sugars. You got the picture. Chemicals have no need in human nutrition, and the compounds your body does not recognize as food should not be consumed. So whole, fresh, and natural. That's the way to go. Hey, we're talking about hypnotherapy in this hour of the program with Hollywood's hypnotherapist, Kevin Stone. And here's some interesting information on a particular ailment that many of you suffer from. Several case reports and one study suggests that hypnotherapy can be effective for teeth grinding, otherwise known as bruxism. In one case, bruxism completely disappeared after 7 hypnotherapy sessions, and the condition hadn't returned even a year later. So one of the many health benefits of hypnosis. And we'll get back to Kevin right now. Kevin Stone, what about this? Now, have you, how many sessions does an average person have to go through with you to overcome a behavior that they want to get rid of or change?
Yeah, it depends on the individual and how they allow the hypnosis to work for them.
Okay.
Because like I mentioned earlier, it's all really self-hypnosis, and I'm just the guide. And so once we get past the critical factor in the mind and they just allow the process to work with my guidance, then it could be one session. Now let's just say like a smoker, right? That could be anywhere between 1 to 6 sessions, depending on the individual, depending on how they're allowing it to work, et cetera, et cetera. And so it could be one session, that quick.
Wow. Okay, and the average smoker, they say, needs to quit, or before they permanently quit, they end up quitting 10 or 12 times, over a period of time. So you're just compressing that into a shorter period of time, maybe, than if they had not done it through hypnosis, if they just did it cold turkey or used a nicotine patch or some other means of stopping the smoking cessation.
Right, and with all those other remedies, David, those again, it's like weight, right? It's a yo-yo effect because what they're not doing is they're not programming their computer, their hard drive, their brain. You see, the mind is what controls everything in our faculties, and so you have to have a tool to access the mind to change the behavior.
Otherwise, it's not going to be permanent, right?
That's absolute, because the mind doesn't think for itself, although we think that it thinks because of that conscious mind that we utilize at 12%. Reality is no. The dominant part is your subconscious, 88% of your brain's capacity. And so what happens is once the brain, and it takes, by the way, 21 times for something to become a conditioned habit, a conditioned reflex. Once it's established, 21 is now an automatic, so the mind believes that to be true, either positive or negative. So you need to, like a computer, you need something to go in and clean it out for the negative, in this case, let's say smoking or anxiety, and then rewire the brain to do exactly what it is that you want it to do instead of what you learned.
Okay, that makes sense. Now, would the same go for other behaviors such as drinking or other drugs or addictions? I mean, is it usually 1 to 6 sessions, or I know you said it depends on the person, but is that kind of the range?
The range, yes, 1 to 6. Sometimes with some of the heavier things like weight, that could be 1 to 12. Again, it varies, and I can never tell. Because I have to hypnotize you first. Once you get hypnotized, then I can really determine and give and say, hey, look, it'll take 1 set. This is it. You're done. Or it's going to take about 3 more. You know what I mean? So I really don't know until I get you hypnotized, so I can see how you're accepting the process. Okay.
Now, do you have to hypnotize the person in person, or can you do it by other means via electronically?
No, that's the great thing in what I've done. And the technology that I put together about 15 years ago, because my time became so consumed. And so I had to really rely on technology. So how I do 90% of my sessions now is through Skype, the telephone, just like we're doing it right now. So everyone in Hawaii right now, whoever's listening, wherever your audience is at, we do it just like we're doing it right now. And it's 100% effective. Matter of fact, there's a video on my website of me hypnotizing one of the celebrities on one of the television shows where we did a remote hypnotherapy session. This is the one time that, because again, everything in my business is confidential. We don't disclose information or who I work with, et cetera, unless it goes, public and on broadcast TV. Then
sure, Then it's free for all.
There's a free for all. But there's a full hypnotherapy session done with the phone. She was in Florida at the time. She was having some anxiety, stress issues with what was happening at that particular time. They filmed it, put it up on TV, and now I'm able to utilize that, show people how the phone sessions work.
Oh, okay. Now, we have our hypnosis detector on, so we can tell, Kevin, if you're trying to hypnotize me, if you have an ulterior motive and you want to take, don't take over my show now. I can cut you off like that.
Absolutely. It's with one finger too, David. You get the power of the button.
That's right. With a 7-second delay, mind you. Anyway.
There you go.
Okay. Now, what about Kevin? What about fears and phobias? How do those work with hypnosis?
Yes, those are very powerful with the applications and the modality of hypnosis as well. And again, if you go to my website, there's plenty of video of me on television doing that with people with fear of snakes, fear of spiders, the number one, fear of public speaking.
Oh, yeah,
people
right.
People know that. Yeah, fear of public speaking is the number one fear. And so the applications of hypnosis are incredible with overcoming those issues.
Wow, really? Now, do you still do dinner theaters or entertaining type of hypnosis shows or venues?
I'm glad you asked. Absolutely. As a matter of fact, come this May in Hawaii, I will be there doing many grad nights.
Oh, you're kidding? Wow.
Nope. So if people want to get a hold of me and contact me and want to set up personal time or sessions while I'm in Hawaii, I'll be more than happy. But yeah, I'm getting that cycle in May, June is the high schools. And there's a lot of high schools on the islands that I do.
Wow.
And so I'll be out there doing those performances for those grad nights. And
be sure you get in touch with me, and we'll publicize it, or we'll mention it, a week or two beforehand, and we'll have you on in the studio if possible. Yeah.
Oh, that would be awesome.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
But you can't hypnotize my producer or me or anybody here at the...
Well, who's to say I haven't already done that, David?
Yeah, that's true. I was going to say, I feel different already, Kevin.
Yes,
in a good way. Anyway, okay, now I know that medicine has been slow to embrace hypnosis as a therapy, like they have, they finally embraced chiropractic medicine and acupuncture and some of the alternative means of healing. What's the present status when it comes to not only the medical establishment accepting it, but also insurance coverage, things like that? Give us the particulars.
Yeah, David, you have done your homework. I love it.
Well, I stayed up till 3 this morning before the...
And these are excellent questions.
Thank you.
And I'll share something with you very quickly. When I first got into this 25 years ago, it was taboo. The medical community rejected it. It was something that you couldn't even mention the word hypnosis. It wasn't even, something that was utilized. And so I had to do different things, or call it different things like guided visualization, or different things to get around it, to get accepted into what was happening. That's how I got on staff at White's Memorial and Cedars and a couple of other hospitals here, and just to show and prove how this stuff really works. Because, ignorance is bliss, and when somebody doesn't understand something, they have a tendency to just dismiss it.
That's right.
And so that's what was happening in the community back when I first got into this. Well, fast forward. What's so exciting and what's been happening is the applications are now widely used, not only in dentistry, but in pain management, surgery. I can go on. And incredible medical doctors are crossing over and getting retrained to utilize the applications of hypnosis in their practices to help people, to help themselves, and to facilitate the work that they're doing in that capacity. And so that's the great thing that's happening now. And there's more and more schools, there's more and more trainings. But unfortunately, very few insurance companies do accept the hypnotherapy.
That's a shame.
If they do, it's kind of like what the chiropractors, they do, I think, only 3 or 4 sessions, and that's pretty much it.
Okay, so 3 or 4 sessions of hypnosis, you mean? Or you're talking about...
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And on average, it takes 6 sessions, so maybe the insurance is covering 3, and then the patient would pay out of pocket for the next 3?
Yeah, correct.
Yeah, okay.
And then even if they they come to me, we offer special packages. I try to work with people as best as I possibly can. It's not really about the monetary gain. It's about people helping themselves and getting those tools. In fact, if I'm allowed, I'm going to offer something free.
Sure.
If people email me. Oh, if you email me and you specifically put in the email heading that you listen to this program, I will send you my free self-hypnosis CD so you can learn the applications and do it for yourself.
Now, you send it electronically, or do you send it in the mail?
No, I'll send it electronically.
Oh, okay. So
it's an MP4 or an MP3.
MP3, yeah, right, okay, good. Well, thank you. That's kind of you to do that for our listeners.
Absolutely.
And what is your website for people wanting to do that?
My website is hypnotist, hypnotist.com, and you can email me right from the website.
Wow, that's quite a coup that you got that website address. I mean, that URL. That's very valuable. Hypnotist.com.
Yeah, absolutely. It goes to show you again my experience, how long I've been doing this, my professionalism, and so that's what it demonstrates to me.
Yeah.
It's a great site to have.
Definitely. Now, you mentioned, Kevin, hypnosis easing pain. I have an article in front of me. Let me just read an excerpt from it. It says it can provide drug-free pain relief for some chronic pain sufferers. This is from Neuroscience and Biobehavioral Reviews. They said subjects with chronic pain who were receptive to hypnosis saw over a 40% reduction in pain levels. And study authors say the effectiveness of hypnosis increases through training and practice, which is what you alluded to. So you want to expand on this?
Oh, absolutely. Same thing with cancer and other issues that people are having. Let's talk about pain for a minute. And I want people to understand this isn't the complete cure-all.
Right.
And so what ends up happening, especially with pain management, because, again, I'm a pain management specialist, we don't want to eliminate the pain completely and totally in most cases, and I'll tell you why. And even with pain management, it's per doctor supervision. So somebody who calls me and says, look, I have chronic pain, I have back pain, I have shoulder pain, I have this pain. I always consult with their immediate primary doctor to make sure what that is and what direction we're going to go, so we're all on the same page. And so with pain, it's a very sensitive issue. And so why I say you don't want to eliminate the pain completely and totally, because pain is, and wherever the pain is located on the body, is like a smoke detector, right?
Exactly.
And we need smoke detectors in our home to tell us where the smoke is coming from, so where the fire may start. And so it's the same thing with pain. So if we eliminate it completely and totally, and and you have no more pain, then we don't know how the healing process is continuing to happen.
So true.
So that's the thing with pain.
Yeah, I'm glad that you have that distinction, or that you make people aware of that, because a lot of people, it's analogous to if your car's check engine light comes on. Well, you unplug the light from the instrument panel instead of opening the hood to see what's going on with the engine, and that's what people's consciousness is. They just want to stop the pain now, and they go to the doctor and say, hey, give me a pain pill now. I want to get rid of this, or and sometimes in radical surgeries they say, once they have cancer, they say, no, just take it out, just take it all out. I don't want to deal with it. Even though there's a double-digit percentage of recurrence of cancers within 5 years, that's why they have a 5-year survival rate. And often it's another organ or system in the body that is cancerous, even though people might go into remission, a temporary remission, thinking it's they think it's a permanent remission. But that's another program. We're not doing cancer. But actually, we need to take one last break to keep the lights on here, Kevin. And when we come back, I want to ask you and review this article from the Mayo Clinic. And it has to do with hypnosis doesn't cure cancer, but it can help with the battle. So we'll talk more about the medical aspects of hypnosis with Kevin Stone, the Hollywood hypnotist. We'll give out his website one more time if you've tuned in late. And we have much more information for your good health here on Dr. Health. I'm David Snow here on Dr. Health Radio. Don't go anywhere if you want to stay healthy.
Dr. Health Radio is made possible by Natural Factors, where great health begins. Natural Factors food supplements are available at your nearest natural food store. And by Xanthocin, the safe anti-inflammatory for general health and longevity. You can find Xanthocin at all GNC locations. Dr. Health Radio is also sponsored by Wakanaga of America, producers of Kyolic, the world's best-selling odorless aged garlic extract.
Hey, want some noni fruit leather?
Noni? Are you kidding? I tasted noni juice once. Never again.
I know. That's because noni juice is fermented. And unlike fermented foods like yogurt, sauerkraut, or kombucha, where there's actually better for you after fermentation. Noni is best in its natural state. That's why Hawaiian Organics Noni carefully dehydrates theirs at low temperatures, preserving and concentrating all of noni's beneficial compounds.
Just how concentrated is it? The noni juice I saw said you had to take 2 ounces a day.
Noni fruit leather is so concentrated, just a 2x2 piece of Hawaiian organic fruit leather is equivalent to several ounces of noni juice. So 1 2-ounce package is like a quart of noni juice.
So where do I get this noni fruit leather?
I got mine at our local natural food store, but you can also order it online at realnoni.com or call toll-free 888-882-NONI.
All right, I'll go to realnoni.com.
Copycats? They're out there. Be strong and healthy. Tune in to the Big Dog. Dr. Health Radio, radio's original health news magazine.
9 out of 10 doctors recommend Dr. Health Radio to their patients who listen to talk radio. Ask your doctor if Dr. Health is right for you. David Snow on your radio. Thanks for staying with us here on the healthiest 2 hours on radio. A reminder, our show does rebroadcast tonight from 9 p.m. on the station you're listening to right now for a rebroadcast of the morning show. And you can always go to the website, drhealthradio.com. That's DOCTOR, healthradio.com. Our guest, if you're just joining us, is Kevin Stone, the Hollywood hypnotist. He's America's celebrity hypnotist. Hey, Kevin, I know that you said that a lot of things are confidential in your business, but any names you can drop that are, A-list Hollywood stars? I know James Cameron has come out to endorse you, or he's one of your clients or has been in the past.
Yes. Absolutely, and it was a fascinating conversation with that man, and he has an amazing mind. Where I had told him basically he was really a hypnotist, and this was at the height of this was at the height of the Titanic movie, and it was getting great success and great reviews and all of that. And we had this great conversation about. I said to him, I said James. And I can call him that, because we're buddies now. So I call him by his first name.
Okay, Mr. Cameron.
So I started explaining to him. I said, "Look," he says, "How am I really a hypnotist?" I go, "Because what you do is you direct movies. You not just direct movies, but you're directing movies based on true stories. Now let's take this movie you just directed, Titanic. That's a huge success. People are walking out of the movie theater crying, emotionally affected by what they're seeing of a bunch of flickering lights up on a screen and some actors acting out the parts that are based on a true story." Mm-hmm. And Hollywood takes a lot of license that sensationalizes things. So a lot of things in the movie is based on actual facts of what happened with the Titanic, but there was a license that they did to create that movie.
Sure.
So it's not what you saw on the movie screen wasn't exactly happened. And so I explained to him, you being able to do that and being able to affect people's conscious, subconscious, and emotions is exactly what a hypnotist does.
Ah, okay. So
and you can just see his eyes gloss over, and he was astounded that, wow, it just gave him a whole different perspective on how to create movies, and then he went on to make Avatar.
Yeah, wow, that's another blockbuster. And I think there's a sequel coming out next year, or I think it's in 2020, if I'm not mistaken. But anyway, so basically, you're saying that most movie producers as well as stars are hypnotists, or they have an effect on us like that.
Well, it's like this. Everyone is really a hypnotist. Your spouse is your hypnotist because you're taking suggestions. You have children, you're the hypnotist to your children because you're giving and receiving suggestion all day long. Mm-hmm. So when you give direct suggestions to your children, to your spouse, or that's being a hypnotist. And if you do receive it, that's how simple it really is. So it's like this, David. I'll give you the simplicity. Are you sitting or standing? I'm
sitting.
Okay, stand up real quick for me.
Okay, let me
tell me when you've done this.
You know, the reason I used to stand for years, Kevin, and the microphone, the armature does not go up high enough. I always tell my producer this arm needs some Viagra to get a little stiffer. It's not. I'm too tall for the microphone, I guess. Okay, I'm standing up and holding the microphone.
Excellent. Now, how do you feel?
More alert. Which is why I used to stand for years and years. You know, I've been doing this show for 29 years.
Now, see what just happened, David? This is a great demonstration. It was really for the demonstrations of how I'm showing you how suggestion works. But however, what your mind just did is it accessed old information. And what did you just say in a positive? You feel more alert.
Yes.
Because that's how you used to feel when you used to stand. And so your mind accessed that information directly. You see how it's all stored inside the subconscious?
Wow.
So the reason I did this simple demonstration was I gave you a direct suggestion.
Sure.
You followed that suggestion. Now, you could have became analytical about it and said, well, why would you like me to stand? How would you like me to stand? And got into this whole process of thinking, right?
Right.
But you didn't. I gave you a direct suggestion. You followed that, and you basically stood up.
So I'm more receptive to hypnosis then, versus a person that would have done what you just said. Would
the analytical, and I've done, and again, I come from that side as well. When I first got into hypnosis, I'm an analytical mind, and I need proof.
Yeah.
I need concept.
Right.
I need to see it, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so for me, it took a long time to really digest it and understand. Wait, this is like the stage hypnotist I told you about when I saw earlier in my life. I just didn't really understand it. But if I just allowed it to happen and see what was happening and accept it for what it was, that was it.
Okay,
you know
Kevin.
I mean?
Sorry to cut you short here. We have 2 minutes left. I want to get to the cancer article, and then I want to give out your website one more time as well for people tuning in late. So here, let me just read a couple quick excerpts from this article. It says, while hypnosis probably won't cure cancer, it has been shown to be valuable cancer treatment and may play a role in the body's ability to prevent cancer. They've shown improved outcomes. Leading cancer centers such as MD Anderson and Mayo Clinic are utilizing hypnotherapy to help patients in surgical recovery and the stress of a cancer diagnosis. Care to comment on this? Also reducing side effects of cancer therapy.
Yes, absolutely. And so there's so many great applications about hypnosis. Yes, it attacks the white blood cells, and it creates that. It helps with the cancer. It helps with the side effects. It helps with the stress. Helps with anxiety. Helps with the overthinking. Hypnosis is that tool, that modality that one can use to utilize in their lives, to empower their lives.
Kevin, thank you so much for helping our listeners achieve better health. Give us your website and contact information one more time, please.
www.hypnotist.com.
Hey, we invite you to come back with us anytime, and definitely in May you'll be an in-studio guest, please.
I love it.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
All right, there goes Kevin Stone, the Hollywood Hypnotist, and here we go with another edition of the program. Join us next week, same time, same station. All about vaping, a health threat to people of all ages, especially our young people. We'll have an expert on that. Until next week, thanks for joining us. I'm David Snow, reminding you, it's not how long you live, it's how you live long. Aloha, have a healthy week.